Welcome to the Encore Audio Archives YouTube channel. I'm Taper Dave, and this is my channel. I've uploaded hundreds of talks here that I've recorded at meetings in West LA, and I've also recorded conventions starting in 2013. I've got a bunch of those up. And Walt and Mary Murray, the original owners of Encore Audio Archives, started the company in the 80s, and Walt recorded Joe and Charlie's and a bunch of stuff down in Vista, California. My sobriety date is June 20th of 1994. I hope you find something you like, so please like and subscribe to my channel and comment down below. If you want to hear something that I don't have or that you don't see, I'll see that I get it. Anyways, take care and have a great day if you want to.
So why don't everybody here give a nice warm welcome to our main speaker tonight, Mindy. Come on up, Mindy. Hi, Mindy.
I'm Mindy. I'm an alcoholic. I want to thank Donna for asking me, Joanne for getting me here. We made a riot, a laugh, a riot. It was very exciting. It's already been a great meeting for me. Oh, God, I'm so touched lately. I really am. I'm so touched by recovery. It's so amazing. I mean, we're all sitting here. We're sober. We're going to live today. You know, chances are we won't throw up on ourselves on the way home, and I won't be vicious or violent, and, you know, I'll remember where I was. Joanne will remember where the car is. You know, it's amazing. If you stop drinking, your life gets better right away. You know, you notice that? Well, I hope so. And if you're new, you will, that all of a sudden, you know, you start to have a life. You start to show up and go to work. You know, wasn't that amazing, that concept right there? You know, like if you want money in your pocket, go get some, you know, go to work, you know. And it's called work because it's work. I kept thinking everything should be fun. You know, I'm sober now. It should be like getting high, you know. Life should be like getting high. And it wasn't that way for normal people. Why should it be that way for me? You know, work is work. Showing up is sometimes really just showing up. You know, but the great thing is that once I get there, anything can happen. You know. I'll tell you a little bit about what it used to be like. I don't know what I'll do, you know. I mean, but hopefully I'll mention alcohol somewhere in there. Alcohol. There, I just did it. Okay. If you're an alcoholic, this is a killer disease. That's the other thing that I find so moving is we're not dead. Right there. See, I don't have to do much. All I have to say is, you know what? I'm an alcoholic. I was dying from this disease. Today I'm living. Sober. I'm living because of you. I have a life. I get to walk in the world and make choices. You know? Every day as an alcoholic, my biggest choice is live or die. You know? And in the beginning, that was a big decision. Shall I kill myself or shall I go to a meeting? You know, which way shall I go? You know, it was like I wasn't really pulled that much in the sober direction, you know, because you have to understand, for an alcoholic who's been drinking all her life, sobriety didn't seem that appealing. You know, you say to an alcoholic, you can put down the drink and then you can have sobriety and serenity. It's like, man, who cares? You know, you can't sell that. I mean, you can't give that away. And actually, you are giving it away, aren't you? So in the beginning, you had to kind of make that choice for me. You know, because I had this disease that was talking to me all the time. And anytime anything would happen, my disease will say, drink and die. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You know, I remember I was 3 years sober in a phone booth, devastated over some person, place, or thing it was worth dying for. I don't remember now what it was, but at the time, it was definitely worth dying for. My disease, because it was not my sober, my disease saw a half-drunk bottle of Heineken on the bottom, you know, of the phone booth with cigarette butts floating in it. You know, it was green. It was the good Heineken, the green Heineken. They were all good, weren't they? I loved them all, everything. Loved all that stuff. Anyway, my disease said, drink around the cigarette butts, you know? And that's the nature of my disease. I was once in a meeting and a guy was speaking before me, and then I think I had 8 years at the time. I have 16. Thank you, God, in AA. And this guy was speaking, and he was talking about snorting gasoline. And even though I was the main speaker, my first thought was, I missed that. My mind just, it's like this horrible computer. Like when a computer glitches and will not get off that, bad command, bad command. I don't know much about computers, but occasionally all you get is bad command, give bad command. And it's like my mind was stuck on that gasoline thing, and I'm thinking, okay, if AA doesn't work, mind you, it's already worked greatly, in my life. My life has been greatly changed because of it, but just in case AA stops to work at any moment, on a bad day, it's not working. Anyway, my disease has logged away the information, and I'm thinking gasoline, okay. I leave AA and I go right to the parking lot, There are many cars. LA is known for cars. There are gas tanks, all those cars. Just get to your tank. I could get really high. Oh my God, So anyway, I have a very active disease, but I bring that disease to you. I remember when I was 5 years sober, my disease said I wasn't really an alcoholic, that what I was intense. And I had just been a bit intense, but had mellowed out greatly by 5 years. I don't know what happened, because now I think I've reverted back to intense. The truth is I didn't mellow out at all, but I just kind of cleaned up and got better. But my disease said, you're not an alcoholic. You were just a bit out there, and you made a lot of noise. And now you could go out in life and social drink. I mean, you just never tried. Of course I never tried because I was an alcoholic. It never occurred to me to social drink. I was incapable of social drinking. Why would I think that it would be any different? When I think of drinking, I don't think of a drink. I think of 1,000, and then some drugs to chase it. Now, I am one of those alcoholics who, you know what? Yeah, I did drugs. I did anything you had. If I could have gotten high from rubber, I'd be up here going, yes, alcohol, drugs, and rubber, So it's like, I didn't know I would ever come to AA and it would matter. It's not like I went, oh, don't touch that drug acid right there, because one day you'll be in AA and want to qualify as a pure alcoholic. I just feel sorry for anyone who, is a pure alcoholic. I mean, I'm an alcoholic. That's all I know. I can't go do much better than that. I'm an alcoholic. I loved alcohol. But yeah, I took anything else to mix with it. Do you want to know why? Because I wanted to get high, So it wasn't like a moral issue or anything. It wasn't like I thought it through, I don't remember thinking through anything when I was out there, When I got to AA, people said, oh, you got here so young. At the time I was, they said, you got here so young. And it's like, oh, you're so lucky. And I looked at them and I went, man, you got here so old. You are lucky. Like I really, let me rush to AA and live a very long, sober life. How great is that? I wanted to drink and come in at 90. Okay, 90, I have a week to live and you can have me. I didn't plan on being an alcoholic. I really didn't give it much thought. And the only time I remember saying, yeah, I'm an alcoholic was at a bar when someone said, you're like drinking like an alcoholic. And I went, okay, then get me a double, it didn't mean anything to me. My first pills were chewables, baby aspirins, around 7, 8. Anything chewable, I popped. Then we did some Temple wine. It was a morning drink. I think I had a personality change. I used whatever I could. Then I heard about glue. We didn't have good glue. We just had Duco and Elmer's and LePage, so I did that. And I didn't do it right. I had to come to AA, when it was too late and find out how you actually do glue, There's a lot to learn. Anyway, but I tried. The point is that I tried as an alcoholic would. And my first major drunk was at 15 at a family party in the morning on an empty stomach. I had 7 screwdrivers, a couple of whiskey sours, a couple of cream de mints, and some wine. And it was excellent. And before I was violently ill, I felt beautiful, powerful, and in control. And I loved that feeling. It was my entitlement. I used to say I don't know, I'll say it right now. So my family, I come from a big alcoholic family, and it's like I felt our family crest should have been a bottle, shot glass, you know, heroin, you know, anything. I mean, all those things should be our family crest. It was my right to drink. You know, it was like my birthright. And I got so drunk, they asked me to leave the party. And I remember crying and saying, oh, God, I was really drunk. I said, oh, God, I'll never, ever, ever do that again. Please let me feel better. And as soon as I felt better, I smiled and planned my next drunk. And I just kept thinking, I got to get it right. That's all. I just got to somehow. I spent my whole drinking trying to get it right. So, you know, it's funny. I kept feeling like I was a chemist out there. I remember many times, my favorite combination was Scotch and Downs. And I remember many times just, I'm a chemist. And the truth is, you're a moron. You're not a chemist. You don't even know what you're doing, and you're lucky you're not dead. And, but I drank and drank and drank and drugged and died. And my favorite game was looking for Son of Sam in New York, where I'm from. We'd roam around and be in alleyways and go, are you Son of Sam? Are you Son of Sam? And I really didn't. I used to just be a weekend drinker. You know, when I was a young adult, I was a weekend drinker. And I tell you something, how I wound up on Scotch is I just got so sick of vodka. I mean, I got sick on vodka. I got so sick on all sorts of whiskeys that by the time I hit Scotch, which I hadn't gotten sick on yet, do you know what I mean? My level, my alcoholism and everything worked out just fine, and I could keep it down, and I liked it, do you know? And I remember when I came into AA and they said the first drink gets you drunk, I thought, no. You know, it was not, if the first got me drunk, I wouldn't have needed the second or the third or the fourth or the seventh, which is the one I think that made me vicious and violent, you know. The first drink didn't do anything. And then it took some time, and then I realized you meant, oh, I see, you meant if I have the first drink, that's the one that gets me drunk because I do pick up the second. You know, we don't care technically which drink gets you drunk, you know. It's that once I pick up the drink, then alcohol keeps me drinking. Alcohol made every decision for me. I didn't know it at the time. I, like most alcoholics, felt very powerful. Do you know? I felt powerful when I drank. And I loved that feeling. Do you know? And alcohol would do anything to me. Alcohol picked my boyfriends. Or when I dumped them, the next table I would join. I mean, I remember one night dumping my boyfriend. I don't know, he bored me at 2 a.m. in the morning. You know, I can't imagine how many people I bored prior to 2 a.m. But anyway. He and all my friends wanted to go home, and I thought, well, I hate them all, you know, at that point. And I was very drunk, and I don't know, he was giving me a headache, you know, not the 8 drinks I had prior, and God knows what else. But so I joined another table of psychotic people who found me interesting and bought me a drink, and so I loved them. And it was that easy. And but I remember that particular night, so they all left, and then I guess the table weirded me out somehow. So there I was, and I didn't know where I was. This was in Boston, and I didn't know how to get home. I mean, I just didn't remember where I lived. And all I knew is there was snow everywhere, and there was. And I remember walking and falling, all by myself, walking and falling. And then I found an all-night store, so I bought some candy for sustenance, you know, to just keep me upright, you know. Now I'm going to sober up, you know, so I can find out where I live. But anyway, I don't know how long I walked. I don't know, you know, but there I am dropping candy wrappers in the snow and walking and falling. And I guess I got home, you know. I guess I did. Grace of God, you know. I had this thought. I said, you know, why me? Why am I sober? So many other people, you know, why are they not? Why, you know, I remember when I was in detox in New York City, the AAs, and I disliked them intensely, came up to the floor and, you know, they were so serious, you know, this is your life and death and a killer disease, and I was like, oh man, you know, please, you're bumming me out. But anyway, you guys are so intense. It's not that deep. Anyway, but it was, and they were right. But anyway, but I remember there were 15 of us, and they said 1 out of the 15 of you will get sober and stay sober in Alcoholics Anonymous. And so we all just kind of, you know, looked, I mean, to see which one that was going to be, you know. And nobody looked at me. I will assure you, no one looked at me. But I'm it. Pretty much, I can bet you, I'm it. So why did it work for me? You know, what's so good about me? You know, why didn't I die? Clearly I was dying. I'm pretty serious you know, I was dying, as we all were. Because, you know what? Unless you're dying, you don't come here. You don't even consider here. because this is the last place we want to come, is the place where there's no alcohol. You know, that's my feeling. You know, when I walked in, anyway, they said one of us out of the 15, and I'm the one, for sure. And I was dying out there, and Alcoholics Anonymous turned my life around. And, you know, it's like, why, I started to say, why me instead of others? And this is what I realized is, I got here before I died. That's all. Some people die before they get here. It's very simple. You know, some people get here and leave and come back, and some people get here, leave, come back, go back out, and die. It's just, it's this idea that if you're here, you got here before you died, but you were going to die. I mean, if you're an alcoholic, you're going to die from this disease or sober up. And I finally realized why we're all so grateful, because we picked the right thing. We picked the AA thing, you know, which is only a hard decision for an alcoholic. Like, do I want to live? Or do I want jail time, insanity, wet brain death? Or AA? Only an alcoholic has to go, what? Do that again. What? Which way? You know, I feel ambivalent. I'm not sure. You're offering me life or death for certain. Don't know. How big of a life are we talking? And that's the other thing. I don't know about you, but I came to AA and I thought, okay, I'm sober now. Gimme. Otherwise, I'm going to kill myself. I've always been that way. If I don't like you, all right. If it's not going to go my way, why would I be here? If you're not going to give me a good trip, you think I want to be here with no alcohol and have a lousy trip? What are you, crazy? You know? And it's like, as you get better, you start to realize, honey, this is a good trip. It's a good trip, because what happens is you have 12 steps and 12 traditions to help you to be grateful and to realize what a miracle your life is and how wonderful and joyous it is all around you and in you. A lot of times speakers get up and I hear them say, yeah, I'm 16 years sober. I have this, I have that, I have this, I have that. I got all that and more. Thank you, AA. And I'm thinking, as the guy in the back is, who doesn't have any of that, well, what step is that? Is that like the acquisition step? And no one told me about the acquisitions? Like you could the merchandising step, you know? Because I know a lot of people better than me, and myself included. I haven't gotten everything I wanted, but I've gotten things I didn't even know to want. You know? How about life? How about, first of all, I was going to be dead for sure. How about I've already lived way longer than I planned? I don't know what to do with the time. I got to tell you, I mean, the other day I'm thinking I better do an IRA fund or something. I mean, because it looks like I'm not going to die. I mean, I'm 16 years sober. If I stay sober, I'm not going to die from alcoholism. So I am going to be getting old, man. You know? You know, your eyes start to go, and those teeth we never took care of. Oh, did you say, like, no, I think I'll floss before I pass out? You know? Did you do that? Can we be very real here? You know, it was like, you know, no, let me floss before I take that, kamikaze drink or whatever. No. First, dental hygiene. But anyway, then you get sober and then you have to go to the dentist, you know? Because then all of a sudden you're going to live a long time. And they're going, yeah, she's going to live long. All right, we'll change that crown, you know? So anyway. There are many things we have to take care of when we get here. High functioning or low functioning. You know what? There's a great gap that gets missed when you're out there drinking. Because when you're out there drinking, you know, you're just not all here. You know, I missed my life. Alcohol took over my life. And whatever my life is today, I'm here. You know, I'm here for it. What do I want to tell you? Did I tell you don't pick up the first drink, you won't get drunk? Did I say that? Well, some people said no. So what is that? All right, so you just heard me say it now. All right. That's if you want to live. That's the other thing. You know, I spoke to a woman once and I said, did you ever want to do anything other than die? Did you ever have a plan, a backup plan, like I maybe want to be something other than an alcoholic? And if you have a plan, if you have, I don't know, a little glimmer that you might like to try your hand at something else, this is the way. See, it's very simple around here. This is another way to go. You know, you can die, or check this out. They're not closing the liquor stores, you know. If I don't like AA when I hit 20, okay. Gasoline, rubbing alcohol, those are my drinks. And whiteout. I heard something about whiteout once. I logged that away too. You can inhale whiteout. Now, why would I want to? There's nothing in the big book about whiteout. Did you ever, you know? And that's the alcoholic mind, logging this away. Now, if you ask me exactly where something is in the big book, I don't know, but I sure know about whiteout, don't I? You know, that's another thing I love about it, is when it comes to AA and recovery and the steps, we go, don't want to jump in. Don't, you know, I want to talk to all my friends first about that fourth step before I do it. You know, what is it? It's, you know, if you give me a drug with strychnine, and I've taken them, because, you know, I heard you get higher, but anyway, if you give me a drug cut with strychnine, I don't hesitate. You ever notice? Or if that killer guy, the guy from the mental institution in jail, is across the room with 3 days of sobriety, I'll date him. No, I'm kidding. I won't. But I won't date him, but I'll find him extremely attractive. Now, where's the hesitation that I have when it comes to working the steps or surrendering my self-will? You know? So I love the way we kind of, you know, we want to, what's your track record? What's the, you know, show me the chart on the steps. I want to see your success rate, you know, your graph. Anyway, but slowly, you know what? You become surrendered and you become willing if you choose. I want to have a great life. You know, I have my dreams, you know, I don't know, dreams will change. I've had things I can't appreciate, and I've had things I can. You know, I've had things happen that were beyond my wildest dreams, and I've had things happen that made me want to die. And I've walked through, you know, there's a thing that comes up in recovery if you stay sober a long time and you work your program and you're of service and you're doing all the right things, and somehow all, for me, my experience, those core feelings, something comes up that's buried deep inside, you know? And at that point, I didn't feel I could go on. And I was meeting my own dark night of the soul. And at that point, we hear about the alcoholic when they get to double numbers, blowing their brains out, getting help, or drinking again. And I chose to get help. And I've walked through that dark period. And I feel so much better. Man, I'm so glad that's over. There's nothing new that's coming up. As far as I know, I don't know. I may say, you know what, when you hit 25 years of sobriety, boy, is there a dark patch in there. But, you know, I can get through all this. There's help. There's hope. No matter what you're going through, I've never come to an AA meeting and said, I'm going through this and this, and have them go, no, you know, we cannot work the steps on that problem, and we feel you should drink. We AA feel that that is a big enough problem to drink and die over, you know. And we're buying. Now, that has never, ever happened. That has never happened. And in the beginning, I used to try so hard. I'd come up with all of these things to, you know, have you say that, and it never happened. Or I kept wanting operations, you know, just to get loaded. I'm going, I'd call my sponsor, I'd go, my appendix, I'm sure I have to have an operation. And she's going, oh, go to a meeting. I mean, I just wanted, you know, I just wanted the medication. You know, I wanted justifiable medication. Do you know what? There are many things. It's like if you're a heart patient, you know, and that's your number one problem. Like if you're an alcoholic, if you're a heart patient and you have a bad haircut, the thing you need to fix first would be your heart, you know. Then by all means get a good haircut. So it's the same thing. If you're an alcoholic, first you got to fix the thing that's killing you, you know, which is your alcoholism. First you have to live. And whether you want to, if you don't have a big desire, don't worry about it. That comes in time, because in the beginning your disease is talking. And then as you sober up, you get a sober voice. But in the beginning, my sponsor was my sober voice, and the people in AA were my sober voice. You know, and they really kept me sober. You know, I just followed them around and followed them around. I remember one night, just because it amuses me now this minute to tell this, I remember one night, I raised my hand and I said, I'm Mindy, I'm an alcoholic, and I can't go on, and if this is sobriety, I can't take it, and I want to die. You know, it was very intense. And this guy named Joe raised his hand and he said, Mindy, I want you to live. I was so touched. I left the meeting going, Joe wants me to live. Joe was cute. No, I'm kidding. Joe was worth living for. No. Joe wants me to live. And I was so touched. Now, I don't remember seeing him again, and I really don't remember that at all. But he wanted more for me than I wanted for myself, which is he wanted me to have life. And you give me life, and then a day at a time, you know, my life is an open page now. It's a blank page. I'm gonna have pages, you understand? Drinking and drugging, I was just dying. It was just a question of exactly which drink would kill me, or which man would kill me, or which, you know, car would kill me, or would I kill myself? It was just, you know, like ticking away. I wonder when it's gonna be. But in sobriety, I wake up and I have a new day. And if I don't like this day, if this day sucks, and I'm ungrateful and I'm not working a program and I'm, you know, whatever, I always have tomorrow to wake up and have a better day. Or another bad day. As long as I don't drink, I'm gonna get through it all. And that's the bottom line around here. I don't drink, I hold on, and it changes. I am miraculously transformed. And I live in the world today. When I was locked up in detox, that's what I was. I was locked up. And that meant I would continue to be locked up. And I would look out the window, and I would see people walking in the world. And that's sobriety to me. Sobriety means I walk in the world. Alcoholism means I'm locked up. They lock me up, they shut me down, they tie me down, and my life is over. Donna, are we looking at a 3-minute wrap-up? Is that what that is? Because I can't see that good. It is. Thank you, Donna, very much. Let me see. Last thing I want to say. I said I was grateful. I am. I feel terrific. I keep getting better in AA. I've even gone to Al-Anon, which is another interesting program. If you thought it was hard to get sober, check out Al-Anon. It's hard to work an Al-Anon program. But I am better for it all. And in 5 years, I'll probably need Gamblers Anonymous. No, but I'm not ready to surrender that. Right now, I'm just a control gambler. I never gamble alone, and I don't mix my machines. No, I'm kidding. I don't mix my gambling machines. And I did go to an AA meeting in Vegas, so I figure that covers me. And I was talking to my AA sponsor, my old sponsor from New York, and I was going, well, Bonnie, you know, last year I had 7 gambling trips. This year I'm only going to have 5. She went, don't bullshit me, Mindy. You know, well, so now we're going to control gamble. But I see the writing on the wall, and you would think I would be smart by now. But you know what? I'm not an alcoholic, you know. Truth is, we have to hit the wall. And it's that way with the steps, too. I don't go, gee, I think I'm going to be willful in a couple of days. I think I'll work the 3rd step now and cut that off at the pass. That has never happened to me. I woke up today, I said, you know what? I feel like being willful. I went, Mindy, do you really want to? And yeah, you know, I haven't had a good willful jag in a while. I'd like to just ride that train and see where it takes me. And the day's going on. I'm going, Mindy, you sure? I thought, okay, well, you are speaking tonight. I went, okay. So I read my books. I prayed to God. You know, I got unwillful. But, you know, I may wake up tomorrow and go, I think I'm going to have some fun. Not fun, you know. I'm going to be willful. And then I'll cry. And then I'll be sorry. And then I'll understand that there are consequences and all that. And then I'll never do it again till the next jag. But anyway, but that's what it is. I used to want to be perfect around here. I used to want to walk on water. I used to be really sad if I lost faith. I used to beat myself up because I thought, God has touched my life, saved my life. I feel the presence of God in AA, and I've lost faith. How shabby and lowly can you be? And then I finally realized, Mindy, that's your journey. You're going to have faith and lose faith. And I thought, well, you understand the 3rd step, you know. If I had a great day 2 days ago. That's probably why I want to be willful. I woke up with no agenda for the day. It was a brilliant day. I had no agenda. I said, God, it's yours. It was terrific. It was so brilliant. You know, it was fantastic. And then I go, well, why can't you do that every day? What's wrong with you? You understand these things. Why can't you do it? And then I go, well, because you're a human being. And because if you did it every day, we'd all be sick of you. You know, because you'd be so full of yourself and you'd be walking on water and saying you're the Messiah and all that. So it's really best for you to be a human being and have your days of grace which is what I said it was. You know, days of grace, days of surrender, you know, days of joy, days of faith, and then the other days, you know, because I can't put all that pressure on myself to be anything other than an alcoholic who's not drinking, who's sober because of you, who gets my strength from you, who works a program to the best of my ability a day at a time, and because of that I live. Thank you.
Okay, this is how I prepare my drone for launching. I like to do it inside the cab of my truck so I'm not standing outside in the weather. To install the joysticks for control, up and down, right and left, powered on. I have an Android phone that I use to connect it to the drone with. And it's actually controlled through the iPhone, through an app. Oops, wrong way. It's actually controlled through the iPhone, or through this Android phone, through the app. It's actually controlled through the Android phone, through an app, and you connect it through this short connection right here.
Remote control connected.
Remote control's connected. So I pull out the drone. I have to extend the legs. Long legs extended first, then the short legs. Remove the gimbal protector. Set that aside, then power it on one short burst, then one long burst. I lay it down. So I have to go to calibrate. So the drone's not connected yet. It shows you here as this drone gets disconnected, even though the remote's powered on. So the drone has to establish it's connected. So I go into the app to calibration mode. First I'll calibrate the remote controller. Start calibration. Out, in, oop, out, in, up, down, and then this little wheel is to control the gimbal. So it's calibrated. Go to gimbal calibration, start calibration, and then it calibrates the gimbal. I don't know if that shows up. The gimbal's moving all over the place. Changes, you can see it on the video. And I'm calibrated to take off. It's acquired 7 satellites at the moment. There are 26 satellites up in the sky, which it has to acquire before you can take off. So it's connected. It's got enough satellites. This is white. I can go to press this little arrow button, swipe right to take off, and it would start the motors if I slid this to the right. But I'll wait till I get outside. Don't want to do it inside.